Hey everybody, how we doing? It is Thursday. Um, Nothing to really report, probably until Monday when it comes to that, because, let's see, ladies discus and men's javelin is on Friday afternoon, so I probably won't have much to say until we get through the weekend. Yeah, so we're going to do it that way. Working on the dedication javelin for a friend of mine. It is already painted silver, so I went through the process of sanding it, primering it, and it is already painted silver as its background color. Blue is going to be our next color, which, see if we can find something to prop this up real quick. Apologize for the hand. There you go. I have a blue that I'm starting off with, and there's not as much left as I'd like. So we're going to kind of create a new one. I have a couple different shades of blue that we can play around with, plus the silvers and things that we can shove in here. If I can get this open. So this is a can of blue that I have that we're going to use to add to this. Hold on a second, this is going to... Trying to remember if this started off as a water base or not. I don't think it did. We'll find out shortly. I don't have a rag over here. Okay. One second. I need a rag and a paint stick. Alright, my apologies. Alright, so let's see if we can do this for a little bit just to give you guys an idea on color that is in here. So that's the shade of blue that we're starting off with. I showed you this one, which is a slightly darker blue than what's in here. And we're going to put a bit of that to get started off with. And that should be fine because I'm going to put some reducer in it as well. Close that can. Put you over there beside me. This will currently darken it up a bit. Actually, it doesn't seem to do that much, but it will be slightly darker than what we started with, which I don't necessarily want, so we're going to throw some silver in it if I have some floating around, which I should. I don't want to throw white in it because then it's really going to lighten up to be a blue, or like a light blue, and that's not what we're after. It's a violet pearl. I'm not sure if I want to put the blue pearl that I have in it. I don't know if it's going to... I'll put a little bit in it. I'm not sure if it's going to lighten it up or at least just give it a little more metallic. But this is specifically, put it in front of the camera, a blue additive. It's metallic blue additive. So we're just going to throw some of that in there. It's a bit dirty. Try not to put dirt into the thing. And just squeeze a little bit of that in there. I think that violet pearl might work. That's red. That's not gonna work. Get that out of the way. Which one's this one? Violet. Crystal green. That's not gonna do it. Crystal shimmer. That's just a general shimmer. I think the violet will help. I have this additive, which is a crystal pearl, a violet pearl. Might help to lighten it up a little bit, and the purple will go along with the blue. So it's not like it's going to fight it. Dry paint in the top. So we just toss a little bit of that in there. A little bit more than the blue to try to help lighten things up. And that should be okay for what we need. I don't think it'll be too dark. I think this, everything will lighten up fairly well with that. You also got to remember it's going to look a little lighter when you spray it compared to what you're looking at inside this container. So right now it'll look like a really dark blue. But once we get spraying it, it's not going to be as dark. There's also two other javelins in there that are painted white. One of them needs to go green, one of them needs to go pink. I have a dark green. It's got a lot of shimmer in it, but there's not much paint to it, so I need to check the box to see if I have anything in a can, or if we're going to try to throw something together. But that'll be done off screen, so you don't have to worry. So I like what I got here, and there's plenty to do what we need to do. I do need to put some reducer in there, so I'll do that off screen. When I come back, we'll be in the booth, and we can go from there. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to take care of is putting the spiral on. I'm going to spiral the whole javelin, but we're only going to be doing the tail and the tip. It's what I call the fade spiral. It can be done in any of the designs that I do when it comes to spirals. Single spiral, doesn't matter what size. I've done trips, which is, I do 3 individual spirals that go around and they follow each other. That's called trips. I have hot rod. Hot rod can either go with a big stripe and a little stripe, or a big stripe and little stripes on the side. I've seen it done, or I've done it either way. This one is just going to be a single spiral, but there's going to be some extra paint that we're going to figure out after we're done with the blue. That probably won't happen until either later today or tomorrow, just because we need to wait for the paint to dry. Alright, so I'm going to get the javelin and the paint on the table. So like I said, this is currently silver. Try to bring you guys down a little bit. But we're going to do the entire javelin as a spiral, so that way everything follows each other. I've done one where the spirals are this same design, except one way the spiral goes clockwise, the other way the spiral is counterclockwise. So makes for something interesting. But this one's not going to fly. This is just going to be a presentation javelin, a dedication javelin. So I'm not worried about how it looks when it flies. This one has to look beautiful sitting still. So you guys are all the way up here, and I need to go the whole way down there. So I don't know if this will let me go to the floor. Yes, it does. So we'll have to do this in stages because I'm a one-man band with a cell phone and a tripod. But we're going to make this a very tall, long spiral. So make sure this first section is down. And making that long spiral, you got to stay tall. And I'm talking, and I'm out of screen already. So, I don't know if you can tell how I'm doing this, but I'm pretty much keeping my tape fairly close to the javelin, so that way this spiral stays good and long. Actually, not as long as I want it to be, so we're going to start over. Start over. Start that, reverse it. I want it to be a little longer than that. So, I'm just going to try and back up. Now I'm kind of far away from the camera. I apologize, I don't have my mic on. We're going to try this again. So what I'm going to pretty much do is keep this tape right at the edge of the javelin. So that way as I go, that spiral will always be the same. You just take your time, walk in the javelin. Obviously for this I'm trying to do it so that way we're on camera, so it's a little different. That's not doing what I want it to. Why is that not doing what I want it to? I think I know why. Hold on. Try again. One of the reasons I'm using the tape that I am right now instead of a thinner tape is because there's going to end up being a decal put into this. And it needs to fit on the inside of this tape, or of this, what's going to be the silver. Alright, let's try this again. Make sure that's down and around. See what I'm doing, because I can't see what I'm doing in that small screen. So what I've done is, last time I was holding it up against the javelin, which would have made a fine spiral, just not what I want. So this time I have pretty much enough tape, if I can stop getting it stuck, to do the whole entire javelin. And I'm holding it all the way up and out. That way, that spiral comes the whole way up here. Tuning bottom knee. Just make sure all of our spots are seamless and correct. As I'm looking at this, part of me is iffy on the way we're doing this, another part of me isn't. To be honest with you, I like the way I was doing it when I wasn't doing it correctly. The reason I did it this way is because they want to put, or we want to put, however you want to word it, they want the decal that'll go here, and they want to be able to mount it, and that way it reads it without, like if I compare you to this side here, the spiral got sharper because you got to a smaller diameter. And to do that, if you would put the decal on the tail end, it will wrap around and you're only going to see part of it. And it's a quote from Scott, so I'd rather be up here, you know, even if you put it near where the grip is, which you can back up. It's, you know, they want to mount it like so they have to be able to see it here. My hand is where the grip is, so it's going to get put, actually, it'll be going wherever the green is technically, because that's going to be what's silver. So the silver over here is going to turn into blue. I apologize. But either way, they want it to go so that way you can be able to read it without it just disappearing, you know what I mean? So it's going to go somewhere around here so that way you can see all the words. So I'm kind of stuck on how it has to happen so that way the wording fits where it needs to, but at least gets into a good spiral in the back. So we're just going to go with what we got. I think it'll work out. If they weren't putting the type in there and putting those letters and the words and everything, I would do something different. But customer's always right. That it's just makes sense that way. So I'm not going to try and do something that doesn't work. Hi, Bill. Using the wrong gun. Pause. Alright, so we are back with the correct gun. The other gun I had was one of the bigger guns, and it wasn't definitely not going to work for what we're doing. Well, I mean, it could, but it won't. I needed the specific top here, which connects to this type of cup. The other one is meant for the stuff I do here at work. My lid clogged. It'd be very nice as it is. Pause again. Alright, so I think I got it figured out. Either I needed reducer or I've made a boo-boo and I've added non-water-based paint to water-based paint, and it's all going to get screwed up. But let's see how we go. See, can't paint where I do because I don't want to paint the camera. Fade spiral. My grip is down here, and we got a tail, so I'm going to come a little farther down. And fade everything down into that. And just make sure that this coverage from top to bottom. hit anybody or anything. I'm gonna lower you down to here. So like I said, my hand is where the grip is, so it's off camera, obviously. So we don't want to go that whole way high. I think you can see what I'm doing. In or out technically. So there's your fade in and out spiral. Looks like we got everything good and covered. So, from there, we wait for the blue to dry up. Take off the tape. And the next part should be interesting because I'm going to hopefully be able to use my airbrush for it. If not, I'm going to have to break down and use the mini version of this one, which is kind of like the middle ground on spray guns. I'm hoping my airbrush works for this job. Sometimes the paints are a little too thick and I don't want to water it down any farther than I have to, because then I have to do coat over coat over coat. But I'm going to set this aside and hope everything works. That's not going to go anywhere, so. We'll stitch in the rest of the video hopefully at the end of the day and we'll post it up. And you guys and gals will at least get to see, it won't be the finished product obviously, but it's pretty close. So, see you in a minute. Oh, my camera's moving. Why is my camera moving? Stay where I put you. Stick tape. Alright guys, I'm down actually here in Westchester at the moment. I can't tell if my camera's still moving. I think I'm gonna have to readjust it, but I'm down here at Westchester area school district, or I forget what the actual school is here. But I've thrown at this this javelin runway before. Kind of a continuation for the video earlier today when I was working on that javelin. Honestly, I feel like that one's going to be a bust and I'm going to end up redoing it. Kind of waiting for an email back from that gentleman. But, yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to end up redoing it tomorrow. And probably into next week. But we'll figure that out tomorrow. But since I didn't finish it on here, I felt like I might as well come on here. And since I'm kind of burning some time, do a little throwing, do a little teaching, see what we can do. So the problem I've found that working with kids and being a thrower at the same time is that you weirdly pick up the kids' habits that you're trying to fix. So now that we're just about into the off season, I need to go through, make sure I don't pick up those bad habits and throw it correctly. So I'm going to use some more tape and adjust this real quick, and then we're going to get some throws in. Right, I think the camera will stay there now. I forgot my tripod again. So I just took a javelin that I wasn't using and taped it to it. So one habit that I know I have to watch and make sure I don't do is cutting it down in through here, trying to throw it this way. It's a bad habit of my kids They want to throw it like kind of like what you see in the movies. You don't see the guys launching them for real distance. You're just seeing guys up close and personal, stabbing people, doing things like that. They're not trying to throw it far. You can't throw a javelin far. You have to be up here to get it to go somewhere. I'm really hoping my audio is picking up because I don't feel like yelling. I don't have my mic, so hope this video works. So we're just gonna do some little throws. We're not going far. Just making sure we're getting into plants, keeping our elbow up, and going from there. So let's try this one here. Only throwing 30 feet, maybe 50 feet in front of me. Nothing major. Nothing hard. I'm trying to be quick about it, but nothing very hard. While I'm doing this, I know a problem that I have lower body wise is that when I plant across myself, which pushes everything to the right, and I hug the right side of the line all the time. So I try to open my leg up, open my hips up, that way I'm getting square and throwing straight, not all the way down that line. So you can also do that while you're working on little other things. Get my own javelin. So, be right back. Missed. Make sure I don't stab my drink. Be in trouble. We're just gonna do the same thing again. Getting in the reps. Staying high. Open the hip up a little bit. Another thing I'm doing here is my back leg. My push, so it's my right into my left. You see a lot of kids doing this and coming through. You don't want to come up through. Sometimes they come up through at the same time as their hand. It completely takes away from the plant. What does that mean? Excuse me. Sorry about that. Text message I just got was from my collegiate thrower. He ended up coming in second as a junior college freshman. He got second place with 175 feet and odd inches, which gives him second team All-American as a freshman. So that's pretty nice for him. Hey, congratulations. Not sure how to describe the problem he's having. The only thing I can think of calling it is a windmill, where instead of pulling through, you'll come up and over. So, probably in the right terminology, he was throwing through the handle sometimes, rather than throwing through the point, or through the tail, however you want to word it. So it made a weird angular throw. I don't know best how to describe that. But when he would throw through the point, you could tell how much different it was. So it was real nice to see him do that. So, back to what we were doing. Something that I was also thinking about, what I see people not doing, and I'm guilty of it myself, is not fully following through or putting enough lower body into the throw to get yourself up and over. A lot of times that's when I see this weird leg come up, or throwing at the same time as your arm, and there's no plant. You have to make sure to hit, have enough momentum, come up and through. You don't need this big overthrown step. If you push in, drive into the hip here, and come up through, You just have to catch yourself not bringing that big leg up. So when you're doing small throws like this, making sure you're doing that and pushing into your hip correctly is the big thing. I don't know if you could hear it there, but sometimes I'll make a habit out of dragging my foot or not moving that leg at all and almost just leaving it back there so it drags. And then I have to make myself catch, otherwise I'll fall over. So you hit here, push with the back leg, follow until you fall over. Not sure if any of that was in camera, but hopefully you heard it too. So let's see. I think that was off camera, but we're gonna try to move ourselves out. Not sure if that's gonna work because my dumb self forgot the tripod. Where we at? Yeah, we should be alright there. I'll be right back. Let me go get my jabs. So as you probably noticed, I don't have any fancy cameras. Like I said, I do this on my cell phone, even though I hate my cell phone and I want my Samsung back. But using the Google Pixel, like I said, I don't like it. But I don't have any fancy gear. I have a minimal editing program. That's about it. That's all we're doing. So, let's see, if I look at the camera right, as long as I get to here and drive, you'll be able to see where I'm at. We'll use this grassy patch thingamajig here for location. Hey, can you see me? Hey, I can see me. So, try to put some crosses into it. Try to throw a little bit farther, but still doing line drives coming up over top. I'm trying to emphasize leaving that leg back, as well as getting over top. Something I'm not doing is opening my hips. That one just went straight down that line, even though I'm on the other side of the runway. Alright, try it again. That's nice. That one wasn't as low as I wanted it to be, but it came out nice, so I'm not going to argue. Felt good. Without looking at it, I'm not going to be able to tell you if I'm right or not. Really like those last two. Hopefully they look good to you. Something we're going to do here with this next set. Try to have you watch me while I do it. There's probably not going to be much talking unless I come up to it. That way you guys can see where we're going and how we're doing that way. That way I can also look back at it and see what I'm doing. Also, I have two silver javelins here. One that has paint, red paint on it, one that does not. Wait, if you can notice, I'm not sure in the videos or not. This one here is not a standard javelin. It is actually shorter. I don't think they make them anymore. I've only seen 2 or 3 of them. I have no idea what the flex is, although they do seem rather stiff. But either way, it's
couple inches shorter. I'm not gonna bother showing you guys, but you know, you might have 4 inches shorter. The diameter is give or take the same. The taper isn't. Well, actually, taper's close, but they were just practice javelins that were made up. I don't know by who, but it was given to me, and I use it, so why not? Let's see what we can do. I want to purposely try to aim at you with the javelin, not that low. I'm still going to stay up here, but I want to get it. There's a field goal post behind you, way out there. I want to stay in line with that field goal post with my body the best I can. That way I can tell whether or not I'm coming out here or if I'm coming in here and staying closed off. So let's see how that works. Still fair, but it's definitely going right. I think I was a bit off on the approach on that one though. I didn't have patience, and I came down too soon to throw. We got to stay back. I know I'm starting there. My curiosity is when I look back at this video, I'm starting off coming towards you right down here, and I even end up over here with my follow through. So be interesting to see it on this approach rather than the sideways one. So be fun. So that's not too bad, really. It's not where I want it, but let's see where we're at. I feel that's going to be my term. See where we're at. Something about that jack. That's the Super 90. I'll talk about that when I get back. Alright, so the white one with the red tail. It also has a red and white grip. I don't know if you can tell that, hasn't thrown it. But this one is the Super 90. I'm pretty sure it's also the same as the Super 80, but they changed the tips. This is obviously a very blunt head. Super 90 is very narrow and points out. I don't think this is kind of a comparison. Like if you would say this one would be closer to the Super 80, it has a longer point to it. And this one here has a stubby point to it. I think that's the only real difference between the two. I'd have to look at a chart that I have for Nordic stuff. I really think that's the only difference. I haven't really thrown a Super 80 because I have one, but it's kind of particular that I don't want to throw it because it has Thorkelton's signature on it. And if I ever actually get to meet the man in my lifetime, which I doubt will happen, I can actually get his full signature on it, not just his name. I got it back a couple years ago when Cyrus was in the Olympics. He was selling a bunch of javelins that Mr. Thorkelton had for training, and I went to check it in one year, and I think it was actually overall short by like a couple centimeters, or it's like, only by that much that it was short. So it was not a legal javelin to throw. So I just ended up putting it back in the tube, and I've used it as my signature javelin. And I got a bunch of people's signatures on it from America. The last couple guys that went to the Olympics are on it. Uh, so I don't think I ever really throw it because I don't want to mess it up. It's got all original paint, all original everything. So, make sure what time it is. It is 4:51. And I don't need that message. Don't need that email. And we'll call that a day. I think I'm going to do one other set here. I don't want to overdo myself. Years of doing this incorrectly have caused me to have a bad elbow. I've never torn anything, but I'm pretty sure just the cartilage and stuff like that in the joint are just horrible now. So it tends to limit how many throws I have. I also tend to have trouble with my right ankle, because that was the one I think I always ended up turning when I was playing sports. I did it a lot in basketball. I would just come down on my right foot and and down I go. So I don't have a trainer anymore, so I can't just have her tape me up every time I go to do something, which would be nice, but it's not in my budget. I'm not a professional. So yeah, we're gonna do one final set. We're gonna do the training javelin first, and then we're gonna get into those three there. These two, I'm gonna say, are fairly close in meters, and then this one will be the Super 90 will be a little stiffer. I don't think it is a 90-meter javelin. I don't think it's that stiff personally. But like I said, I'd have to check the chart on that one. So these 4 throws, then we'll see about getting some dinner. That one I felt myself come out here with. I'm gonna try and hit 5 steps if I can remember. I gotta remember to start with my left and not my right, because that's what screws me up. Way over that way again. Excuse my bird watching. That's what I was just staring at. There was a pretty hawk that flew around that way. That one didn't feel too shabby. Felt like I stayed better straight on to the jab. Felt like it came out of my hand a little bit, but like I said, we're not trying to big throws or nothing. But... All right, last one. Waited too long to do my 5-step. Went right. Alright guys, I'm tired, my arm hurts. Stay safe so far, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you later.